Yeah. Yo. What's going on? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Lion's Den with Seth. I'm your homie, right? Big homie. Look at Herb over there. Hey, yeah, it's tired, ain't you? Anyway, y'all, check it out. If this y'all first time tuning in, what we focus on is all things leadership, growth, and development. Okay, from the household to the community. Real talk. And today is going to be nothing shy of an outstanding show. But before we go into it, we got to stretch out a little bit. Herm, what up, though?
Man, just got off the road, man. You know,
we got it here this weekend, bro.
Kicking it with you, and then with the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated. You know, man, all this weekend in St. Louis. My wife's sorority sisters and whatnot. Yeah, had a good time, man. You know what I mean, and realized that how much I needed a time like that. You know what I mean, just get out and dance with people, beautiful people all around. You know what I mean, and
absolutely,
just being cool.
Absolutely. They didn't have a good time at the VFW.
Definitely.
Man, that was fun too, man. It just bring back some things, bro. Just good times, good energy, man. Good energy. But
what I love about stuff like the VFW, man, you just never know what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? A bus might pull up and it might go down. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a good time.
Just go down. Hey, a bus load of people say, hey,
we here to party.
Hey, you know and they were, and they did hard,
man.
hard. My good, hey man, I'm just glad. I was glad we was able to keep the energy flowing, man. But it was a real good time. It's always good seeing you, man. So, woo, man, we gonna talk about this AI, man. Right. What you think, bro?
Man, here's what I think. Like with AI, right? There's still a lot of people out there like scared of it.
Yeah, sure.
You know, there's some people that I know is like vehemently against it.
Yeah,
and I understand, but the thing is that the world is going to keep evolving, whether you evolve with it or not. You know what I mean? So what you gonna do? You know what I mean? You got to at least be abreast and know what's going on in case you don't want to partake. You're gonna be out there looking like boo with a fool, getting taken advantage of. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you, and I also feel as though, man, some individuals operate in a space thinking that they're going to lose some level of authenticity if they incorporate AI. You get what I'm saying? And so if you think about it, it's it's artificial. It's not real. So individuals understand, right? You can connect to the truth. You can connect to what's real, but don't, cancel out something that can help you to advance to get closer to your desired result. You dig? Like there's individuals that I know that say, well, I don't want to write a book, but, people be writing books from, using the AI. So what does that mean? Right? So AI is not going to take your thoughts, put it in a book, create it, publish it, and then sell it for you. You still have to be the one to do the work. You get what I'm saying? Still. And then I think individuals have a thought process that any type of integration is going to lower the authenticity of their said passion, product, or even future. What you think?
I think it's basically just like anything in life. When change occurs, there's always going to be resistance. You know what I mean? No matter what it is, man. So I'm a fan of it. I like to have fun making pictures and stuff like that with it. There's a lot of things that you can do with AI that a good way to pass the time, man. So I'm excited about this conversation with an AI expert. I didn't even, what I'm saying before, I didn't even know you could be an expert at AI like that. You know what I mean? I didn't understand it. You know what I mean? I was like,
it almost sounds like an oxymoron, right? It's almost like, can we be an expert in something that people used to be an expert in things? You get what I'm saying?
It's like you're thinking, man, what you want to tell? Like, you want to tell me how to put something in there like a Google search engine? You know what I mean? And then just having that little conversation in the back, I'm ready to pay him some money.
Exactly, bro.
You taught me something. You know what I mean? You don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? So that's what it is.
That's it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, y'all give it up for Mr. Cortez Springer in the building, y'all. Yeah.
Yo.
What up, fellas?
How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, man. Thank you guys so much for having your boy. This is I'm excited to be here, man. Fan of the show, fan of the author, Big Herm. I'm new to you, but I ain't new to Mr. Seth.
No doubt.
Hey, man,
I'm writing a book too.
That's
watch this. No, hold on. Stop. Watch this. Go ahead. What's the book?
What?
What's the
hey,
book?
man, let's get on with the show, man. Come on.
Hey, look, man. Hey, again, long time coming, man. Look, as a matter of fact, you had me on your show before, right? It was the hustle, right? It's the hustle, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, we got it in.
Sir.
It was an outstanding show, man. But look, for those individuals that don't know you, man, just tell them about you, bro.
Sure, man. Well, again, thanks for having me, man. I am H. Cortez Springer, also known as Cortez Hustle, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur. Tupelo born, St. Louis raised, and I'm just a guy who understands that, like they taught us in school, man, the shortest distance between any 2 points is a straight line. I just so happen to believe the shortest distance between poverty and wealth is a straight line called entrepreneurship. So I've been at it doing my business thing online for the last 10 years, but then another 7 or so years before I jumped online, and really trying to help people to understand that God gave each and every one of us a gift, right? And that gift is supposed to make room for us at the top. But the only way that gift can make room for you is if you learn how to package and present it into the marketplace in a way that you can monetize it. So my whole frame of thinking is, how do you take your gifts, talents, experience, expertise, package and present them to the marketplace so that they can make provisions for you and your family? And now that AI is here, you can do that at lightning speed. And that's what I love talking to people about, is turning their gifts into something that can feed them and their families, and they can have a whole lot of fun doing it.
Bruh. See? Hey, Herm, that's what I'm talking about. An intro. You dig?
Man, he did. Hey, I'm gonna get into a question, but pop Dro's statement up real quick, man.
It is.
I think this is important.
Exactly.
You know
and he hitting it up already.
Yeah, pop that. So I want to get into this. Let's keep this in mind. I want to get into this a little bit later in the show. You know what I mean? But keep this in mind, because this is something that we need to talk about. But my opening question for people who hear AI, you know, and immediately feel overwhelmed or threatened, what is the first thing you need them to understand about AI?
The first thing that I need them to understand about AI is that they should feel that way. Because just like anything, man, people can get a hold of any technology with malice in their hearts, and they can do some evil crap with it. And there is no doubt about that. However, there's more people trying to figure out how to do good with it than harm with it. So I teach people to protect themselves with it, try to secure any platform that you're going to use, set up 2-factor authentication and that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, this technology is going to be here the same way that we moved from an analog age to a digital age, the same way we went from a paper and pencil world to a digital computer, internet world. The same way this AI world is going to continue to engulf everything that it can. And while you're sitting back contemplating whether or not you should get involved, I'm the it's better to have and not need than the need and not have guy. So it's better to learn a little bit about how to leverage these things and not need it if it suddenly goes away, than to not know how to deal with it at all, and it just continues to invade our society the way that it has in the last 3 years.
You know, I'm glad that you said that, man, because before we started the show, we were talking about how that fear, and Herm, you with it, right? Excuse me. That fear about, man, what is this going to do for me or to me? You get what I mean? And no matter, and look, shout out to, hold on, let me put this on back. Excuse me. Back up here. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Y'all, what's going on? John, he was a guest last week. So he says AI cannot fix the problems humans have living in a capitalist world. That may be true. And I do believe that AI is not here to fix anything. You get what I'm saying? It's us. I believe truly, to your point, it's a heart positioning type of thing and how you utilize technology. So with that being said, my question is, for those small business owners who feel overwhelmed by technology, right? Maybe because of that learning curve that we talked about earlier, or they may feel as though they may be too old, right? But what would you say is the first practical steps, you know, as far as using AI to help them to get acclimated, right? Without having a huge budget.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I am really big on helping people to execute with AI right now is make sure that they're clear about their business, their products, their services, and how they want to represent themselves in the marketplace. You and I both know that people get into business for a lot of different reasons, and sometimes a business takes off before you really build a solid foundation. What I was able to use AI to do is really go backwards in my business and set the foundation. What is the one thing I want to be known for? What does my messaging look like? And how do I present that to the world? The other thing that I would say to those who are apprehensive or feel like they don't have a budget, I would say start with a free Chat GPT account. There's free Gemini accounts. And if you don't do anything else, just prompt it a few times and see what happens. Because at the end of the day, guys, people talk about AI taking jobs, and that's going to happen. But the first thing that's going to happen is the people using AI is going to take people's jobs because they're going to be faster, more effective, and more efficient on the job. And when you use it right, one person now can do the job of what used to take 10 people to do. I'd rather be that one person with that capability to make myself more valuable on a job than the one person on the job who is refusing to learn how to use AI, and I end up getting replaced.
So hold on. Look, Herm, before we go, I'm glad that you said that. I think that's another part of what's happening right now, friends. Hey, first of all, shout out if y'all just tuning in. Hit the share button because we're having conversations about growing your business or even leveraging your business by way of AI. So what do you think about
let me say this before we go, because you put up a question about AI not fixing the human problems with capitalism. And I think it can be a help though. Because if I'm serious about this as the problem, then there's no faster way to come up with a solution than to use AI to help me ideate what is the best alternatives for a country like America to come up with something that can run in parallel and maybe even replace capitalism, where everybody wins and everybody is a part of the equation, right? You can use chat to do that kind of stuff. So it's not going to fix it, but it could help in the research of how to fix it.
And that's that was the point. You see what I'm saying? The technology, kind of like what we was talking about earlier, the calculator cannot help. It cannot graduate you. You're going to graduate you, right? Based off of, you know, whatever you're doing. However, use it as a tool. So that's what I believe part of the issue is. Individuals may feel as though using technology when there is a heart positioning issue can be counterproductive, right? Versus you know, or maybe it's like putting a cart in front of the horse type of thing. But in actuality, if you use it like we were talking about before, like a co-pilot, right? Not a passenger or not your pilot. You still run it. You just have not look, instead of having a damn jalopy, now you have a vehicle that can drive itself, but where you want it to go, essentially. Right?
Exactly. And when you think about it, none of us is going back to writing letters when we can email, right? None of us is pounding a nail with a rock when we can buy a hammer, right? Or even a nail gun. So those advances in technology, that's what we're supposed to do as human beings. God made us one of the only of his creation to progressively get better over time, right? Most of creation can peak out at a particular point. A lion can only run so fast and has only so many techniques to take down a wildebeest. Put a man in the jungle with his ability to evolve and leverage technology, he'll have 50 million ways to take down a wildebeest, because there's so many different ways that a man could use technology. So AI is just another tool, and I don't care what nobody say. I'm not giving up my hammer for a rock, bro.
Yeah, man. You know, it's funny. It's funny we talk about the advancement in technology, right? Because I remember when text messaging first became a thing, right? And man, no, even before, like, but I used to be of the mindset like, I ain't never texted no dude. That's, you know what I'm saying? I ain't texting no. What I look like texting a man, you know what I mean? And now I'm texting everybody, you know what I mean? But your mindset stays stuck. Like, I'm like, well, hey, what you doing? Like, I'm not texting no dude. But now I'd rather text than have conversation.
Have a conversation.
Yeah. But look, check this out. Look, to your point though, think about what that technology have done. Remember when we first started texting? How many times you had to push
that button? Like 15 times. Oh, and then you missed it. Like, damn, I got to go back.
Look, look, take it a step further. Y'all remember the rotary phone?
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, don't call long distance.
Yeah, right.
Don't mess up.
This is how much we're advancing. But speaking of advancement,
okay, go ahead, my fault.
Because you are in business of teaching people how to use AI, and like we talked about backstage. I didn't really understand that. I didn't really understand that at first, right? Because I felt like didn't nobody need to teach me how to use Google. You know what I mean?
Right.
Didn't nobody really have to explain to me how to use these search engines. And I looked at AI the same, right?
Gotcha.
So now, you've already explained to me backstage and everything. I would like for you to explain to everybody, what is the need for finding a coach for AI? Like, what are we missing? What could we possibly be missing?
Yeah, I think one of the things that a good AI implementation strategist such as myself can do is I diagnose someone's entire business, and because I have studied and used and practiced and got trained on all of the tools, there are tools that I know that exist that can streamline your business that you have no clue about. When we're talking AI, most people think AI is ChatGPT and that's it, right? So a good AI strategist or coach or trainer can help you best leverage not only AI in general, but the right tool for the job. No difference than a master carpenter, right? He does not just know how to build things, but he knows the right tool for the right job. And believe it or not, even large language models like ChatGPT versus Claude versus Gemini versus Copilot, they all do certain things better than the other. So one may do research better. So a coach would say, hey, the reason you're not getting a good answer using this particular model is because this one is better at researching in that area, right? So that's one of the things. The other thing is when you have reps in with the thing, right? Are you guys, superhero fans by chance at all?
Me.
Yeah.
I'd have made comic book characters and everything off ChatGPT.
Okay. So think about now, I'm a big Marvel guy. I didn't get into DC outside of Superman, right? But I did like Green Lantern. Now, if you know anything about the Green Lanterns, all of them, right? They have this ring. And this ring can allow them to create anything that they can imagine. So what happens when two Green Lanterns fight? Who wins? The one who has the reps in and the one who has the most creative imagination. And that's what's happening with these AI tools and protocols. The reason that I can say that I can train is not because we don't all have access to the same thing. I just have more reps in and more creative inputs to train myself on how to think creatively with this tool at my fingertips. So that's one of the things that you could look to someone to come in and help you with, is based on all of the tools out there. Instead of you trying to go find them, I've already tested a lot of them and I know which ones can do what thing. And I can look at your business and say, hey, based on what you do the most, you probably want to integrate AI in these 3 areas so that you can get more productivity in what it is that you're doing.
Wow. So no, that was a real good question, man, because I know that there's individuals that are risk adverse to any and everything. And as a matter of fact, man, have you ever heard of the acronym? I'm an acronym guy. I guess it's part of the military, right? That kind of helped to, incorporate that. But have you ever heard of the acronym SCAM, that stands for still confused about money? You ever heard that? So yeah. So essentially, man, when individuals have something that can help you advance, right? Nowhere, no matter what in life, and it's a cost associated with it. It's like, hey, I'm putting my talent, skills, and abilities together, and I'm taking my time out for you, but this is what my time is worth, this amount. However, you can scale this, all right? Now, individuals want the desired result, but they are afraid, or whatever the case it is, about investing, truly having that level of sweat equity, if you will, in that thing. Why do you think, now we're going to switch just a little bit for a second, why do you think individuals are risk adverse to receiving a coach?
I think it is, I think it's in some way, shape, or form a ego situation that says, I'm not going to pay anybody who can give me information that I can go and get myself, right? And then you also have to make an admission that someone is better than you at something. And or it could just be, sometimes we just have trouble asking for help, right? So I think all of those things make it difficult to get a coach. And I think one of the things that a good coach could do is help you to not only avoid obstacles, but also help you to see and identify potential obstacles as well. And I know that when it comes to investing, we've been taught that time is money. So we figured that I won't hire a coach because I'll just take the time to learn it myself. But when we understand that time is way more valuable than money, then you'll start to come to the conclusion that, hey, if I invest this money in this coach and he could save me 6 months worth of time, you can't even calculate how much that 6 months of time is worth. It just depends on what you use the time on.
Damn. Herb, did that make sense? What you think?
It makes sense, man. You know what I'm saying? I agree with him, because with coach, it could be anything, personal trainer, anything. I can go to Chat GPT and put, hey, create me a workout plan for these are my target goals. Right. And they're going to give me what a personal trainer would give me as well. You know what I mean? Something similar. You know what I mean? But there's something different when you're dealing with somebody that can, I could see the words, but they could talk to me about how I should feel about all this stuff. You know what I mean? And guide me through and take a look at me physically and be like, yeah, that's working for you, but this ain't working for you. You know what I mean? Things like that. Yeah. But going back to a little bit more about AI, man, people also got to be a little bit careful with AI, man. I got caught up with AI before.
How you get caught up with AI?
I was taking a class, right? I was taking the class, and it got so easy. I got so relaxed with it. It was a biology class, right? I was like, you know what? Let me copy all of this right here.
That's
right. Put it in AI, say, hey, rewrite this for me. You know what I'm saying? Plagiarizing in the MF, man. I plagiarized like hell. You know what I mean? And I didn't read it. You know what I mean? I didn't read it at ChatGPT. It's taking care of me. Post it in my thing, like, post, send. My teacher said, are you a PhD? Are you a doctor or something? Because these terminology you're using in here is really, you know what I'm saying, really far advanced. I went back and read that mess. I couldn't pronounce those words. I was like, oh, hell no. That GPT, man, you know that's not me. You know what I mean?
See,
you gotta
now,
it out a little bit.
now, watch this. See, this is what people don't know about a lot of the AI tools. Before I start doing anything with AI, the first thing I do is train AI on my voice and tone. You can sit down and talk to AI for 10 or 15 minutes and then say, now analyze my voice and tone, my patterns, my breath, all of that. And from now on, whenever I ask you to write something for me, you're going to write in this voice and tone. Now, when you put all of that information in there and say, rewrite this for me, it's going to sound like you wrote it.
Slow. They're going to say,
I sound like Louis Hauser MD on that paper. Man. I'm like, what's happening?
Now they're going to say, oh, this Herm.
Oh, he cheating. They're going to say, he's cheating. God damn, you know what I mean?
They're going to say, here you go. Here you go.
Yeah. And see, and that comes from the reps. See, a lot of people don't have the reps to know. And a lot of people are going into these apps and they're not like me. They don't click on every button in the settings and then read the little eye bubble that says what this is for and what it does and how to use it. And then I got the nerve to turn around and ask chat, how do I best optimize this? I'm asking chat what to ask chat.
Yeah, because
that's enough.
Yeah. As soon as you do something out of line, they're like, hey, we can't do it this way. But how can I do it without being a violation? You know what I mean?
Look at you.
Exactly.
So I guess at the end of the day, it's like, hey, if you go break the rules, at least learn how to break them correctly.
You know yeah.
Right. I mean, but no, so here it is.
that's my mother-in-law right there.
Yeah. But look, y'all know what it is. Hey, but look, shout out to everybody that's tuning in, y'all. Listen, we're having a great conversation about growing and leveraging your business, y'all, with the infamous Cortez Springer in the building. Yes. No, man. But look, no, this is a super dope conversation, man, because I mean, seriously, let's face it. Individuals are nervous, right? Because we don't know what to expect. Now, here, let's think about it this way. Okay. There's entities, and I'm saying entities, but pick up what I'm putting down. There's people out there that are using AI to, like we were kind of touching on earlier, to condense a certain, occupations, right? And saying, hey, this is going to save this business money, so we don't need your human capital anymore. You get what I'm saying? We don't need that. That's a real thing, from small startups to even at the government. Okay, because they want to cut down. How can you, or what would you suggest for individuals that want to stay ahead of that wave? Again, I know you said, kind of get used to it and, trying to play around with it, but certain things you can't avoid. How would you help people to get their minds acclimated to the inevitable?
I'm looking at my industry, right? I'm looking at the job or the role that I feel on the job, and I'm asking myself, can a computer do this? That's first and foremost, right? And then I'm looking at, okay, if a computer can't do this today, can a computer do this? Can I foresee computers evolving, AI evolving in the next 3 years to be able to do this, right? Elon Musk is trying to put a robot in every home like Will Smith and iRobot, right? So eventually they're going to be able to do a lot of jobs. So based on where I am on that spectrum, it might be worth investigating whether going back to school makes sense.
Come on.
It might be worth investigating whether a certification makes sense. Since AI is the jam, it might be worth taking some AI certification courses. You have to figure out, like on any job, how to make yourself valuable. Listen, before there was AI, I want y'all to hear me on this. Before there was anything such as AI, there has always been a person on your job whose job is to figure out how to eliminate your job, because human capital is the most expensive part of running a business. So every company, every year, is trying to figure out, how do we cut our biggest expense, right? So we got to be practical about this thing and really challenge ourselves in, man, I'm a data entry specialist. Man, I know somebody is developing a software that's going to be able to take this job. How can I make myself more valuable? Maybe I need to start researching the technology that's coming down the pipe and learn how to program that technology so I keep my job, right? Because at the end of the day, Seth, Big Herm, who's going back to a horse and buggy from a car?
Come on.
No.
Not me.
Now, when the automobile came on the scene, it disrupted a lot of jobs, but it also created way more jobs than it actually eliminated. AI is on pace to do the same thing. Problem is, some of us know we've been in these jobs that are super easy and we got comfortable. And now we're being challenged, and nobody really likes change, but it's going to force change up on you. And if you're not on the chopping block right now, I'd start behaving like I am so that when my job is potentially about to be cut, I have some other skills or some other value to bring to the company.
Yeah, man. Like real estate agent, all them people that's in sales, you know what I mean? Like,
I say that a lot, man. Look, you either looking at the menu or you're on it. You know what I mean? Real talk. Hey, so look, hey, let's go into one of these questions series. Hey, shout out to John. He says, can y'all touch on how people can create and use bots?
I ain't really got. Yeah, I guess it is part AI, but
so
it is. So I'll tell you one of the ways that I use AI every day is inside of ChatGPT. You can create custom GPTs, which are considered bots, but also inside ChatGPT, you can create projects. So what I tend to do is for everything in my business, I have a custom GPT and I have a project. And with that, in that project, I have different tasks. So one of the projects that I have is I start putting out a blog article every week. So this task, all I have to do is give it a topic. I've trained it on how I want the blog to be written and structured. And I just give it a topic and it spits out not only the blog, 12 to 1,500 words. It also spits out a 500 to 700 word LinkedIn spinoff so that I can go on LinkedIn. And then it gives me the marketing material that I need to send traffic to the blog. It writes the email for me to send my list so I can tell my list that I just dropped a new blog. Then I turn the blog into a video script so I can do a video training based on the topic that the blog spit out. And that bot does that from one line prompt. But it took the programming of that bot to make that happen. Another thing that is really, really good, and you can even do this with Canva AI right now. You can literally have it writing code for you, right? I have one of my students in I Hustle Society. She is a pastor and she teaches women entrepreneur. We went into Canva AI / code and had it create an app that speaks to people based on their emotional state. So they can go in and say, today I'm dealing with this. It comes back with a scriptural reference and a blurb from some of the top theologians in her ecosystem. So it might come back and say, hey, you need Psalms 23, meditate on this. And then here's an excerpt from Pastor Adrian Rogers on this subject as well. So every day I can put in how I'm feeling. And this tool actually creates a prescription to help me deal with what I'm feeling. And that was just her talking into AI to create an app inside of Canva. So those are two things that you can do with AI, and that's the beauty of it. AI, for the first time, computer language is English. Before AI, you had to know some other foreign language to code a computer. Now you can code in English.
Wow. Well,
this conversation, man,
it's mind blowing, bro.
It just shows me. Yeah, I mean, I'm over here using AI to make silly pictures of myself, and
right,
you know what I'm saying, fix my Facebook post. You know what I mean? Like, not realizing, you know what I'm saying, and I'm paying for my GPT. You know, I'm paying.
Oh man,
for
you on a pro account?
You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
Like, you know,
you
because it's limited how many pictures I can make. They say, hey, you almost out of here. Hell no, let me pay for. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
so look, you paying for it, but you playing with it,
bro. He over here talking about these bots and all this stuff, and now I'm thinking about, because I do use it for work. You know what I mean? I do use ChatGPT for work. Man, it's been very helpful. But then it's like, what am I selling myself short at my job? You know what I mean? How can I better serve the community? You know what I'm saying? With ChatGPT.
There you go.
Yeah, 1 and 0 to be able to code. What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means.
That's the coding language, the ones and zeros.
Oh, ones and O's. Oh, yeah.
Ones and zeros.
And hey, y'all remember back in the day, DOS? Remember DOS, right?
Yeah.
That C:// whatever the case is, and then putting in what you want. That's ridiculous.
I remember MySpace had everybody believing they were some coders.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
But you know what? I think that's huge, though, Cortez, man. Really talking about how individuals could use that, right, as a way to help them, but then also to pushing back a tad. Doesn't that would that eliminate the individual, the one that created the prompt, if you will, and then now this thing is running, you know, by itself? Does that now remove the, I guess, the initial importance of your, you know, your client, if you will?
No, because now what it did was it added to her authority, because now she has an authority asset to drive her students to, and it makes her look a little bit more genius in her theology as a pastor and as a coach and trainer, because she's developing tools to better serve her clientele.
Come on.
Right? So she didn't do this so that she could have to answer all of these calls. Now there's an unlimited amount of people who can tap into that tool after they've opted in and built a relationship with her to get access to it. And now she's serving at a higher level. Instead of her answering these calls, she's just freed herself up to do other things that God has called her to do. And that's what I want people to get is, you're trading your time for what? And is it the most efficient and effective use of your time when you have tools? Like, come on, like, that's like literally me hanging shingles with a hammer when there is a nail gun and a air tank right next to me. I could get the job done with a hammer and nails, right? But a good roofer with that doggone nail gun and that air compressor, come on now.
Yeah, but you put the hammer people out of business. Now he ain't got
right.
I've been making hammers for 45 years. Now they don't want it.
But look, if you think about it, though, that's the pushback, though, right? I mean, because look, you said it, though, and I think we understand that individuals are really that afraid of change because of that skill instead of advancing their skills.
Yeah. So
you get what I mean? Because if you think about it, you may be holding on to a trade that the way you have learned it is obsolete. Right now, look, full disclosure. I remember when, you know, being in the military and my job was HVAC, heating and cooling. Right. Our CDCs, the CDCs are what is it? It's the career development courses. I believe that's what it is. Right. Just certain things that you have to learn for your job. Right. You know, the problem was there was a time when the information was so behind that we were testing on things that was in the CDC, right? In these books, these different volumes, and there was 11 of them, as a matter of fact. But on the job, it was something so different, advanced, right? As a matter of fact, there was some AI there, even back in the day, a lot of digital things, but we were being taught something still at a passe or an archaic level. So I believe individuals are challenged with realizing that you may have learned something in the 80s or 90s, but here you are in the 2020s, and that skill has now morphed into something else. So how do you morph with it? What you think about that?
Yeah, I think you are absolutely right. And I think, again, this is where self-reflection has to come in. Like, am I being the best version of myself based on not just AI, but all the tools that I have at my disposal? Like one of the things that still gets me to this day, people still talking about they don't do computers in 2026. Like, come on, man, a computer 30 years old. Internet 27 years old. You talking about you don't do computers. Like,
digital
how
banking,
much are
online
you
banking.
yeah, how much are you missing out on by avoiding the 6 months it will take you to learn to get proficient at this tool, right?
Come on.
Because you know that if I'm not proficient at a thing, then I'm avoiding the thing. How much are you going to be avoiding in your life because you are refusing to embrace technology? And how much are you going to ultimately be missing out on at the same time as well?
Hey, I want to get to what the audience is talking about, but this next question falls kind of in line of what we already talking about, right? And that is really, you know what I'm saying, what skills will matter more because of AI and not less? We keep talking about people losing their jobs and stuff like that, and people afraid of change. So what skills should people be looking at? You said going back to school, but is there anything that's targeted that people should be considering learning to make sure that they still stay competitive in today's world?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that everybody should be learning now is how to prompt. How do you talk to AI first and foremost? That's the number one thing, because everything in AI is based on that command. And it trips people out when they see my prompts, and my prompts might be 1,000 characters and they had one sentence, right? I literally speak all of my prompts into AI, right? So learning how to prompt is going to be huge because all AI is based on a command. So if you learn that, you're ahead of 95% of the people, because again, a lot of people are using AI as if it's some fad or some toy or something that's just going to be here today, gone tomorrow. So learning how to communicate with it is number one. But the other thing is learning how to identify the right AI tool for the job. That's going to be huge. And I think most jobs are going to a place where you're going to have to be more of an architect than anything else. Hey, I use chat for this. I then get chat to create a prompt to put it in this tool, and that tool is going to run this program. And when that program outputs this, then I'm going to use that output to use it in this tool. And this is how I get my job done every day. How do you architect a series of, right? Everybody is talking about that most jobs are now going to be a combination of human and a team of bots. And you're going to have to know how to run a team of AI bots. And we're starting to see that already in the marketplace. People have companies are licensed with Gemini and they're licensed with Copilot on the job. So they can't bring in a chat GPT or a Claude because their company has licensed with these other learning models, right? So they're expected to do their job on these things, but learning how to prompt. How do you get AI to give you the output that you are trying to get is first and foremost the number one thing. And then how to identify which AI tool for the job will probably be number two.
Love that. So look, let's go into this. Speaking of identifying certain things. So with certain people playing around with AI, shout out to Rich. What's going on, bro? It says it becomes harder to pick up on fake news, information, and photos, etc. Now, I'm sure that we know, like we already know Herm is naturally funny looking. So if you see something on his profile and say, hey, look at me, right? Especially being spoiled or whatever, right? But I mean seriously, all fun aside, y'all do remember earlier on certain images, you see people with like 7 fingers, you know what I'm saying, on one hand, or you know, they missing a foot, or they got like an extra nostril or something, but it's getting better and better. So how can individuals identify these things now, right? Because I think our eyes, like AI is moving quicker than we're able to conceptualize.
Yeah, you know I want to add something to that as well, Seth. It's because from the beginning of time, there's always been ways to scam people, right? We have people calling on phones claiming to be such and such and such.
Oh, psychics,
now with AI, man, you can have that person's voice. You using that person's voice and say, hey, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like You could use their likeness, their image. You can make a video of them, you know what I mean, saying that they need money. You know what I'm saying? And you're sending to the people that may not be technology savvy. How do you keep those folks protected? Because the scam game is also getting more advanced with AI.
There you go.
I'm glad you brought that up, man, because this is why nobody can sit out of AI. See, there's people who are trying to just, for whatever reason, they're just hell bent on just AI is a devil and I'm not fooling with it. But what happens if you have a senior mom? And because you ain't fooling with AI, she ain't fooling with AI. And now someone calls her sounding like you saying, send me some money. But if you were up on AI, then you can tell mom, hey, listen, AI is going to be here. And here's what we're going to do in our family. We're going to have a family password. If someone is calling and they're saying they sound like me and they need some money or they're saying send it, then you ask them for the family password, right? That's number one. Number two, this goes back to making sure you have two-factor authentication set up across the board on all of the stuff, right? So that it makes it harder for people to get into your accounts and hack in and all of that kind of stuff. And as it relates to fake news,
you know, I mean, look, think about it, bro.
All news is fake.
If you think about it. So, but you know what? Honestly, man, I think that there is a space where individuals are used to just being told what information they need instead of thinking and doing their own research, understanding history, understanding, you know, just certain patterns, right? Because if you see something on the news and you are moved and activated based off of that one thing, it's already won.
Yeah, but to the listener's point, it's AI is getting so good, you're literally not going to be able to tell.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So now where the differentiator is going to start coming down to brand, right? Can I trust this brand? And it's going to be up to the brand to do certain things to make it harder for people to clone their brand, their identity, and that kind of stuff. But no, there's eventually AI is going to be so good, you're not going to know, right? There's going to have to be some other protocols that maybe not even invented yet to thwart what's going to be capable with AI in terms of cloning someone's likeness and their voice and that kind of stuff. There are some protocols in place, but they have to get better. Like if I wanted to clone my voice, I literally have to give it permission through some security protocols and stuff like that, right? But there's people writing code, like there's people using AI to write the code to get around the code that was written to stop them from doing that, right?
That's right.
So there's some things that's going to have to happen to secure it in a lot more ways. But you know, I don't think I think the bigger issue is not learning enough about it yourself to even have an intelligent discussion as it relates to why you don't like it, right?
So that brings us to this point, man. If you don't mind telling individuals about how you can help and talk about your AI hustle workshop, bro.
Yeah, so we do these workshops from time to time online. The next one we have coming up is actual in person here in St. Louis. It's called Digital Product in a Day. And this is where we literally use AI to identify your gifts, talents, experience, expertise. We have AI do the research to identify whether or not there is a marketplace. There's a market for what you are an expert in. And from there, we then build a digital product. We build the messaging, the marketing, the branding around it. We even pre-sell it before you actually finish the product. And we do this all in one day, because that's the speed of AI. Is we've created these bots that walk you through this process. And of course, I'm there looking over your shoulder. But it literally builds it takes your gifts, talents, experience, and expertise, identify a place in the market that says, based on who you are and your gifts and what you like to do and that kind of stuff, here's a product line that could be good for you if you wanted to introduce this to a marketplace to monetize your gifts and talents. And we always have our bots make sure that we validate with real world data as it relates to, we don't just create products because they feel good. We then take that product to the marketplace and say, hey, show us some real examples of people actually buying this product. What is this market size for this product? What is the potential revenue? And how could this really work in the real world? And from there, we go ahead and build that thing on out. And it's an amazing way for a person who has an expertise or a passion, and maybe they want to start a business. It's a great way for people who already are in business and they got an idea that they want to validate. We have a bot for that. Hey, I was thinking about doing this kind of project. I was thinking about doing an ebook on this. I was thinking about doing a mini course on that. Well, that's cool. Let's stress test it and see if there's a market for it. And we run it through our process.
No, I want to let everybody know how important it is, to get that, but then also too, y'all, look, full disclosure, this link here, if y'all following the chat, we're partnering up, right? We're partnering up with them and we're working with each other. Listen, y'all, we have truly committed to what the Lions Den mission is, right? Leadership, growth, and development. We cannot not only be the doers of the words, but we have to be able to help you on out. And this is what we're doing. So those individuals that's listening right now, this is an opportunity, y'all, for real. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna sign up for it. And this is an affiliate link that for those individuals that are interested, no kidding, you're getting a hookup for real, for real, just by listening right now. But go ahead, brother.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that is holding people back in terms of flexing their entrepreneurial muscles is they're trying to do things based on what they see other people doing. And every one of us has got a talent. Every one of us, I ask every one of y'all, what do people ask y'all about for help with the most? What are people always coming to you? What are people saying, man, you should be charging for this for, right? Everybody has those conversations. We just learned and developed a process to package and present that to the marketplace. And with digital products, the beauty in them is that they're 99% profit beyond the time that it takes to create them. So that creates a huge opportunity for people to add an extra couple $1,000s a month to their household income, if, of course, they're willing to do the back end, the marketing, the promoting, and all of that stuff. We'll make sure that you leave with the right messaging. We'll make sure that you leave with the right product that's going to sell. We'll identify your target avatars, all of the things that we could do to set you up for success. But if you never tell anybody that you have this product for sale, that ain't on me.
See, now, so when is this again, brother?
It is going down March 7th. We'll be right over at the 89 Collective in East St. Louis. My girl, Devin Moody, she has a spot where we are hosting, and we teach this live in person, guys. You come in with knowledge and you walk out with a packaged product and a message to sell it.
There you go. There you go. Already. Go ahead, Big Herm. What you got, man, for your word, homie?
Hey, Mr. Cortez, man. First and foremost, I want to appreciate you for spending some time with us today.
Yes, sir.
I was always skeptical about trainers for AI because, again, we talked about in the back. I didn't really see what was the need for it. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm thinking very basic, surface level. I mean, obviously, you see through the conversation, there was a lot about AI that I didn't know, and I hope that a lot of the listeners leave understanding the same thing as you didn't know, right? And you don't know what you don't know, but once you do know, now it's your responsibility to put it into place. Right? So thank you for coming on and showing us, what the possibilities are and why people don't necessarily need to be afraid, you know what I mean? They definitely need to be aware about this tool that we have. It's only put in place to help us move forward, save time that you could be spending with your family, save time for your business to eliminate some mistakes that you may encounter on the way, right? And then also put a few dollars in your pocket. What's wrong?
Sir.
So
yes, sir.
thanks a lot for coming on. I look forward to meeting you one day, and
Yes, sir.
possibly getting on as well.
That's
I
it, man.
I love it.
Wow. Hey, so look, Cortez.
Yes, sir.
Yo, so somebody already clicked the link. Shout out to Rich. He says, sir, what is the February 28th workshop?
If it says the 28th, that's wrong. I'm gonna get on my team because it should say March the 7th, which is the following Saturday. This is where we teach you how to take your expertise, package, and present it to the marketplace in the form of a digital product. That could be an ebook, micro course, worksheet, checklist, something that productizes your knowledge and your expertise to help you build a business and a brand around what you already know and what you already love to do.
Right on. So go ahead, brother. What's your final word to our people, man?
We talked a little bit about
how can people follow you and everything. Let them know.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about why a coach, right? AI is great. ChatGPT can give you information, but here's the truth of what a good coach will do and what you get from a good coach. You get three things primarily. You get perspective, you get presence, and you're gonna get a perspective change. You're going to get a presence, right? And then you're going to get transformation. Those are the three things that a good coach should do. So whether you have one or looking for one, I think everybody should have one. I have several, and that's the name of the game. If you want to move faster, then get someone that can, in their presence, they have a unique perspective that can help you advance, and they're going to cause a transformation in your life. You can follow me at Cortez Hustle on all platforms.
There you go. There you go. Yo, outstanding show, y'all. So listen, everybody, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Cortez, man, hey, again, appreciate you, bro.
Thanks for having me, man. It's always fun to talk AI with folks who are really interested in learning.
Absolutely. So look, don't go anywhere, bro. Don't go anywhere. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Lion's Den with Seth. Hopefully, y'all learned something. So, Herm, so you ready? You ready to take that step, man? Or you ready to stop cheating in school? Hey, at least the wrong way.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I'm ready to stop cheating. Yeah, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. You know what I mean?
Right on. Hey, well, look, anyway, y'all have a great rest of the weekend. Take care of yourself and each other. Right on. Later.